Welcome to my solar addiction. Today's video.
EG4 Battery Firmware Adapter How-To.
So now we've got the batteries out of the crates. We've pulled out all of the accessories that come with it. You get two positive cables, two negative cables with the Amphenol connectors on them. And that's so that if you were just using one of these with one of these 18Ks or maybe the FlexBoss 18 or FlexBoss 21s, you could just connect straight to the battery using these cables. This is a COM cable, and it's designed to be waterproof if we look at the end of it, so that these batteries do go outside, and they're IP65 rated, so you need this kind of protection over that COM cable so that no water gets into it. Very nice COM cable. And then we've got some anchor bolts if you're going into concrete. I'm not doing that, so I won't really need those. But before we do any install, we need to make sure our battery is doing fine. And the first thing you want to do is to make sure that take this side plate off and look at the BMS to make sure that it's showing that there's no alarms or anything, that nothing happened in shipping. So we're going to do that first. And then after that, we'll get into updating the firmware, because you need to prepare your battery before you install it. You want to make sure it's first functioning properly after it was shipped to you, that there was no damage or anything went wrong with it while it was shipping. Then you want to make sure that the firmware is up to date before you connect it together, so you don't have any issues connecting it to your existing system, which would be updated with the most recent firmware, hopefully. And then we want to do a top balance, which means we're going to charge our batteries up to 100% and only connect them to the other batteries once those batteries are at 100%, so we don't have any current rush because of the difference in voltage on the batteries. So these batteries usually come with about 50% charge, so we need to charge it up to that 100% before we connect them together, so that we don't cause any damage to our existing batteries or the new batteries. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at how to first get this panel off the side, and then look at the BMS. Usually it's just the lack of alarm on the side. When we open it up and turn on the BMS, if there's no alarm, you're probably okay. Let's take a look at how to get the side panel off. So if we look, we've got these thumb screws on the top, which we could use after we get these 4 screws out. There's actually 4 screws that we need to take out, and you're going to need a good Phillips head screwdriver. And there's one. We don't want to lose it. I know some of y'all are saying, why not use the electric screwdriver or my drill to do this? I have stripped screws before doing this, and I'd rather just trust my hand on something as delicate as this, because I don't want to strip these screws on this battery. And we're going to do this to both sides on here, because we're going to need to be able to charge the batteries up. So we're going to need to be able to access all of the positive and negative connections. This one's being a pain to get started. There it goes. And there we go. So we can see on this side we've got our positives, we've got our COM connections here, and then this is our breaker. And as you can see, it's got these thumb screws on here too, to make sure that you don't turn the breaker on by accident or anything. And then you could open it up like that. Okay. All right. And then these guys are watertight as well, so that if they're not in use, we won't have any issues with it outside. Now this side I had already done, and as you can see, I could just undo the thumb screw at the top and expose the side with the negative contacts, terminals, our state of charge indicator, and then this is our power switch for our BMS. So we're going to press that and see what it says. It's coming up. No alarms. And it's showing 56% state of charge. As we can see, this one is up to date because the firmware BMS is Z02T17. Now we can go turn this off, and let's open up the next battery. And this side looks like I did this one already too. So the thumb screws are what's holding it on. We undo those. We expose the side where our BMS is, and we're going to turn it on. And this one also is about 50, what does that say? 51%. And press for a second on the second from the right. And we see that the firmware is the correct one that's on the website as being current, Z02T17. So even though our two batteries firmware is up to date, I'm going to demonstrate how to use the new EG4 Battery Firmware Adapter so that you can update your firmware on any of the EG4 batteries that are listed on the adapter. All the modern ones will be able to use this adapter, and it won't harm the battery even though the battery firmware is up to date to go ahead and load it again. So let's show you that. All right, so we're going to do this RS485 update using the new EG4 battery firmware adapter. It comes with a little cable, and we need to power it up, give it some power. So I'm going to plug in my battery power adapter here, my power bank. We've got power. That's going to have power to that. First, we're going to make sure that our BMS is off, so it's off. And then we're going to plug this into our RS485 port. Okay, so it's plugged into the port. And now we're going to give it some power by turning on the power bank. And we're going to select and press select again to the RS485. We're going to start the update. Press update, it's flashing. And then we come around and we turn on the BMS. And it's still flashing, still flashing. And then the BMSs come up. We have success. So that update is done. Even though the battery already had the correct firmware, I want to show you how to use this thing and what the procedure was. So now that's good to go. And we're going to unplug it here. And then we're going to set it up to do the RS232 port. All right, so I'm running Windows on a virtual machine. So I've got connect to Windows, plugged into the port. All right, and it's USB-E. So let's navigate. We need to find our firmware. We're doing the RS232. But first, let's look at our folder in E. And there's the actual firmware already on there. But let me show you how to delete it, because you got to clear it before you load it. And you definitely want to make sure you don't have the RS-45 on there. So I'm going to go ahead and delete everything that's on there. And then we're going to go back to our file, RS-232 update. There's the hex. And we're just going to move it over to E. And it's copying. And let's verify that it's there. There it is on E. And now we're ready to plug it into the battery and do the update. Okay, so we're ready to do the RS-232 update. Remember, we got to start off with the BMSs off. All right, we've got our power supply for the adapter. We're going to press it once to select battery COM, which is your 232. And we plugged into the 232 port here. We're going to click update. It's going to start flashing. Then we're going to come over here and we're going to turn on the BMS. Got a little red light. BMS is coming on. It's flashing. Looks like it's working. Flashing and flashing. Might take a little while. And the success light is flashing and now green, so we have success. 232 is updated. We're going to unplug here. Take our power off the machine here, and we're good to go.
Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed our video.